I am one of 10 children. That's me on the top right. Between the 10 of us, we have 26 children. Those 26 children have 26 children of their own to date. My parents wanted a big family, and they sure got one. In contrast, my father only had one cousin. Betty Clark was born in 1917. Forceps were used during her delivery, which caused a head injury. Betty lived her life with spastic cerebral palsy until she died at the age of 78. Betty was always around for the holidays and Sunday afternoon visits. She was cognitively able, but her speech was slow and involved, so I learned to be patient, to listen, and to care enough to have a conversation with someone who is challenged. When I was 12, my father took me along on a trip to Atlantic City, where I helped my mother with dressing, feeding, and bathing Betty. I ended up being her helper over the summer because most of the time she was stuck inside her home with 2 elderly parents and no friends or social life. When I was 27, I married and had 3 children. Lauren, my middle child, suffered a head injury during delivery and was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I was devastated because I knew what that meant, but I was also determined to do whatever was necessary to normalize her life. Lauren had 9 surgeries by the age of 12. The worst of them left her in a body cast for 9 months. It was a nightmare for everyone, with so much pain, suffering, and isolation. During the worst of it, my Aunt Betty got sick. I spent my days with Lauren and my nights with Betty up until the night that she died. Throughout Lauren's school years, there are too many insensitive and hurtful experiences to mention. Her years were bookended by a child making fun of her in 1st grade, to a student director of her senior play slowly cutting her part down to nothing and asking her to stay behind the curtain. Both times she came home crying. The adults were clueless and insensitive as well. How can you look through the lens and not see the isolation this little boy is feeling? How can you post your homework for the class at eye level and not see the student in the wheelchair who can't see it? And how can you ask to have her transferred to another class because you can't deal? Really? After high school, social isolation increases for the disabled. Thank God for Acting Without Boundaries. It's a theater group for children and young adults with disabilities, and it provides a wonderful opportunity for social interaction. Everyone looks forward to the monthly workshops and the biannual performances. My daughter Lauren has been involved with AWB since its inception. She is usually and deservedly cast as the main character. I witness the joy Lauren gets from creative expression, and I wish she could expand beyond AWB. There's always a sadness that after a whole year of rehearsals, they only get to have one full performance. After many careers in several businesses, I decided to go to college. During my undergrad years, I took a course called Cultural History Through Storytelling, and for my project, I held a storytelling workshop and live performance in a community cafe. I invited members of AWB to participate and then paired them with family and friends. My original intention was to present only the storytellers who were disabled, but I changed my mind and told the helpers they would be getting up on stage to tell their stories as well. Rotating during the workshop, everyone had a chance to work with each other, and the show was a total success. What I discovered by mistake was the benefit of mixing and presenting a more diversified group of storytellers. We had storytellers who were old and young, abled and disabled, and the audience loved it and asked for more. To me, this is the ideal society, a place where everyone is working and playing together. We need to foster a society that's empathic. Empathy is not sympathy. It's having an awareness about another's reality, what they are going through or feeling, putting yourself in their shoes. An empathic person is aware when someone is marginalized, and they reach out to help. Lauren went to school in the Lower Merion School District. Some of the other mothers who have children at AWB and Lower Merion tell me that their child sits alone at lunch with their aide. To hear that social barriers are still present to this day made me want to make a difference. Education is the key. I wondered how I could build a disability awareness program that fosters empathy and compassion. How can I use the AWB actors, many who attended Lower Merion School District themselves, to be part of an educational and mentoring program. Say Hello is the answer. The program was developed with the benefits for both populations in mind. For the students, they're learning firsthand by interacting with the disabled. For the cast members, they're given purpose and another opportunity to show their strengths through acting and mentoring. Research shows that by the time children enter school, they already have misconceptions and fears about people with disabilities. We need to dispel those myths and create opportunities for everyone to interact and become comfortable. So that's where we start, with the young. The Say Hello program creates awareness and encourages sensitivity and empathy towards those that are challenged. It hinges on the hope that we can build a more loving and inclusive environment at school and beyond by putting into practice that which makes us more human, empathy and compassion for each other. Every child wants to feel they are part of the group. They want friends, someone to play with at recess, and friends to sit with in the lunchroom. It is my hope that we can make that a reality for everyone, abled and disabled, through the Say Hello program.